Some debt weigh heavier than money. They reveal the true heart of a man. In the heat of the afternoon, angry shouts rose from the village square. Mr. Andrew had gripped a poor farmer, Mr. Carlos, by the trousers, dragging him through the dust. "Pay me my 5,000 naira now, or you will not go free," the man pleaded, kneeling in tears, but Andrew's face was hardened. He called the community vigilantes and ordered them to torture him. The crowd murmured, shocked by his cruelty, but little did they know this was the same Andrew whose master had just forgiven a far greater debt that very morning. In a certain town stood a large cocoa processing factory. It belongs to a wealthy master who had many laborers working under him. Among them was a humble cleaner named Mr. Andrew. He lived with his wife Grace and their two children, Blessing and Anthony. Life was never easy for Andrew. His wages were small, and though he worked hard, there was barely enough to care for his family. One evening, tragedy struck. His young daughter, Blessing, fell seriously ill. She was rushed to the hospital, and the little savings Andrew had was spent on admission and the drip she urgently needed. But the doctor soon prescribed other drugs, medicine that would cost 50,000 naira. Without them, the child's life was at risk. Andrew was desperate. He had borrowed before and could not pay back. Now, the only hope he had was his master. With tears in his eyes, Andrew went to the factory office. He knelt before his master and said, "Sir, my daughter is at the hospital. She needs drugs worth 50,000 naira. Please help me. I know I still owe you, but if you lend me this money, I promise to work harder. If I cannot pay, take it from my salary. Please, sir, save my child." The master looked at him. He remembered the money Andrew had borrowed earlier and never repaid. At first, he shook his head. "You have not paid the one you owe, Andrew, and now you want to borrow more?" But when he thought of the little girl lying helpless in the hospital, compassion rose in his heart. He sighed deeply and said, "Here is the 50,000 naira. Go and buy the medicine." Overjoyed, Andrew rushed out to buy the drugs, and before long, his daughter recovered and was discharged from the hospital. Months passed. The master called Andrew and asked about the debt. Andrew lowered his head and began to explain. "Sir, things have become worse. If you remove money from my salary, my family will starve. My landlord is already threatening to throw us out. Please have patience with me." The master looked at him, shook his head in pity, and finally said, "Andrew, don't pay me anymore. I cancel your debt. Forget it. I leave it for you." Andrew could not believe his ears. He jumped up, knelt again in gratitude, and rushed out singing with joy. That afternoon, he told his colleague Mr. Hackman the good news, and they rejoiced together. But later that same day, as Andrew walked through the community, he saw another laborer, Mr. Carlos, returning from the farm. Carlos had borrowed just 5,000 naira from Andrew some weeks back. The moment Andrew saw him, anger rose in his chest. He grabbed Carlos by the trousers and shouted, "Pay me my 5,000 naira now, or you will not go free." Carlos trembled and pleaded, "Brother Andrew, please have mercy. I will pay you. Just give me more time." But Andrew refused. Instead, he dragged Carlos before the community vigilantes, demanding they should torture him until he paid back the money. Mr. Hackman heard the news and was grieved. He quickly told their master what had happened. The man was shocked at Andrew's wickedness. Without delay, he went to the community hall and exposed him before everyone. How Andrew had borrowed money from him and never pay back. How he had pardoned the debt that very morning. And yet, despite being forgiven a huge sum of money, he refused to show mercy for a little debt. The vigilantes were arranged, released Carlos at once. They thundered and they turned their anger on Andrew, beating him for his cruelty. Then he turned to Andrew and declared, "Since you have no mercy, I withdraw my mercy from you. Andrew, you will pay back every kobo you owe me." The master ordered that from the 50,000 Andrew owned, 5,000 should be taken to settle the debt of the man he had tormented, and the balance Andrew must return at once. His joy turned to sorrow, for his own unforgiveness had destroyed him. Moral lesson: we must always remember this. Mercy received should become mercy given. When we refuse to forgive others, we risk losing the very forgiveness that was shown to us.